Hello everybody, this is Wandering Winter covering a match between singletee and swordfish trombone. Um, yeah, just as a reminder as always, you want your stuff covered, just let me know, and I am, well, obviously I have a life outside of this, but I, I'm generally pretty happy to comment on stuff. Here, there's Thinning with Remake and Masquerade. Border Village and Lost City are both good villages. Apothecary can be quick. Transmogrify is pretty good to get rid of the starting estates if you're not going for a remake, which I think, at least to some extent, makes sense. Um, Ill-gotten gains, pretty bad against either remake or especially Masquerade, I think. So given what we've seen here, I would expect, yeah. So Apothecary, and then I would expect, well, they've gone for Masquerade over Transmogrify, and I guess that makes some pretty decent sense. Getting a lot of fives is nice if you do go for the remake, uh, because then you can turn them into border villages for quote unquote free, which is nice. I guess also Plan could take care of your estate, so there's a lot of ways to get rid of them here. And the apothecary, well, it's usually a pretty quick way to get going and then falls off later. But it is a quick way to get going, so that's something for it. There is no plus buy here. There are gains. Transmogrify, the other point about it is it's really good with Border Village. You can, transmogrify a Border Village into another Border Village and gain a free 5 and still have your Border Village in hand. Turn a 5 into a Border Village. There's a lot of stuff that you can do there, so um, I would have seriously considered doing something with Transmogrify, possibly even skipping Masquerade for it, but um, perhaps that's a little bit too crazy. Maybe you do it all. Um, so it could be that the Transmogrifies will come later on in this game. Um, you do need enough money to be able to hit 6, but to some extent, if you're going for Apothecary, the Apothecaries can get you there. Then you're eventually going to need enough money to hit 8, but again, that's not that much more. Um, I expect Border Village Rabble to be kind of primary draw here. A second Masquerade seems a little bit like too much to me. Um, but okay, it's not horrible. I think I would have preferred the Transmogrify. Um, it doesn't draw as well, but again, you're going to be able to do these Border Village tricks relatively soon, I think. So it can also occasionally do some tricks with ill-gotten gains where you just slam them down, but okay, you're probably not getting that many transmogrifies. Here, missing 6 is kind of brutal. The Masquerade being something else, unless the something else was a silver, wasn't going to make a difference, so that's not a big deal. If you're going to open Potion, I would think you get another Apothecary there rather than Lost City, but what do I know? Um, Obviously, Lost City's not like it's a bad card. Swordfish Trombone gets Border Village, and let's see what the and is here. I think I, in general, kind of liked the Apothecary play, but I think the Swordfish Trombone seems a bit ahead now. 2 Rabbles, um, all the 2 Border Villages, and his draw is pretty well up, and he doesn't need much more in terms of economy to really get himself going. For him, I again would like to get a Transmogrify soon, a little bit more money uh, up and going, and then he'll be in really great shape. Another Lost City here for singletee. I don't know, it's not that convincing to me. Um, Meanwhile, Swordfish Trombone is drawing his deck already. Um, how much money does he have? Three, seven, enough is the answer. I wouldn't get a province here for sure. I would probably get a transmogrify, and if you're going to do it, you might as well take a border village. He goes for remake instead. Um, I'm not quite sure what the point of the remake is. I would have really liked border village transmogrify there, so you can start picking up extra fives and emptying out these border villages. And he has enough money that you don't really want to trash that much more because you want to just start gaining provinces and then milling stuff with your transmogrifies. It is a little bit slow, but I would have liked that more. Here, I assume he trashes 3 coppers and picks up like a silver. Could also turn his remake into something, or his silver into something. Actually, silver into transmogrify there also looked good to me. He's going for an inn, which is, again, it's okay, but I would really be looking for these transmogrify tricks. Singletee finally gets his border village and a rabble, so he's going to be up and drawing here basically now. So the game is pretty close at this point. I'm not sure. I assume there is a plan for this remake, so if we could figure out what that is, then this may be a good position for swordfish trombone. And it looks like he's just going to remake these estates into silvers to have a little more money. Maybe that's the whole plan. He might get a second masquerade just because he doesn't need that much more money and it's some extra draw. But again, I would have liked the transmogrify stuff happening more. I guess if he gets 2 silvers here, he might still be able to do that. You can remake some silvers into transmogrify. Oh, he trashes the inn, obviously. Okay, that makes some sense. Treasury. Again, I'm looking for a transmogrify here to do some tricks with the border villages. Although by now it's starting to get close enough to where you're running out of time to be able to do those tricks. Okay, and now we get Singletee having drawn his deck. We'll see what he goes for. He could cheekily try to pass the potion here. Let me make sure I've got my audio okay. Okay, it looks like I do. He goes for border village, and I think there's still enough time for transmogrify, particularly with this potion. The transmogrify also has potentially the ability to help you nuke your provinces. The downside of transmogrify, of course, is that you only get the effect every other turn. So the apothecaries have been unconvincing here. If this is what you're going to do with it, then it just seems bad because he's only gotten 2. There's no plus buy, so it competes with everything else. And maybe it was just bad, but I don't know. Silver and trashes a copper, plays the border village, has 8, and buys a province. Oh, he has 10 because he has the 2 treasuries. I think you really need to start provincing now. He continues to build. I guess he's going to try to come up with some duchies at the end, or ill-gotten gains, I guess, maybe. But this just seems so slow. I think he's reliable enough that he should start provincing now instead of what he's doing. Now, on the other hand, Singletee can remake this potion. He's the one that has 2 masquerades, right? He could also remake a masquerade into transmogrify, turn the potion into I don't know, whatever. I'm trying to remember what these last cards are, but you're going to play the border villages regardless, I think. You're not going to trash them. He gets another remake. So we're going to see some remake chaining happening here. What 5 is best? Not sure. Ig. Okay. That was not what I was expecting. But I guess if you're just going to remake it again, then okay. Um, so this is going to be Border Village. Or it could be gold. This is a legitimate consideration now. Takes the gold here. Now Masquerade. And this is actually a good pass situation for him. I don't know if I would have killed that copper or not, but okay. You still kind of want to do more remake tricks is the biggest reason, but also having something to pass is nice. Um, Having said that, it may be totally right. Anyway, um, if this is Swordfish Trombone's only Masquerade, and maybe you play it then anyway. I assume this inn is probably getting remade this turn. So you remake Curse and Inn into Border Village. Pick up, again, I'm not sure what you get with that. You could get really just about anything. He has plenty of money. I think I would take a Transmogrify again. He takes a duchy already? Wow, that seems too early. Transmogrify can be a duchy later. And I assume this is a province? Yeah. Not the biggest fan of that. I think, again, you could have gone for Transmogrify, which can turn Border Village into Border Village Duchy later, or it can turn any number of things into a duchy later on, or it can be remade into a duchy. And can do some more stuff for you in the meantime. Okay. So singletee here should... well, this is kind of tough. Cards are kind of running out for him to remake. I expect that the second remake is getting remade here along with a copper. Maybe along with the silver into... yeah, that with a silver would make sense. Yep. And then the remake, or is he going to trash a copper? Trashing a copper, the thing I don't like about that is... yeah, okay, so this is what he goes for. Yep, yep. You get this Transmogrify down, and then you're going to have to gain a copper here with this IG. Province, yeah. Okay. So singletee probably is going to Transmogrify the IG here, the ill-gotten gains. Um, and turn it into probably Border Village and gain something. Not sure if it's time to be gaining duchy now. May well be. I expect this curse is just going to get passed back and forth, although at some point that's not a good thing to do and somebody should end the cycle probably. This rabble should get remade because it can be Border Village Rabble, which is better than Rabble, or it can be something else. He takes gold. Seems a little bit strange to me. I don't think that's the direction you want to be going in. His draw is a lot worse now, and Swordfish Trombone is just much less reliable than he was before. He's going to have a hard time drawing his deck. That was a bit lucky. Well, maybe it was unlucky to start with to be in such a situation, so curse for copper. So I'm trying to remember what these last 5 cards are. To figure out whether he should be trashing this copper or not. My inclination is to hold on to it. Okay, yeah. So this has worked out pretty well. Remake the rabble and a copper into border village. And maybe you don't do that. But he needs money of some sort. And remaking the rabble is the only way to get it. So I kind of think he has to. I guess he could just not and take some other kind of money. Just like either remake coppers or remake copper and rabble into border village rabble and then draw it up and have 6 and buy another gold or something. Seems a little bit risky to spend that much time. But gold would put him on 9 money, which would let him remake copper in his transmogrify into duchy. Yeah, it doesn't really seem that great to me. But if he remakes the rabble and takes border village, let's say Ig or something, I'm not even entirely sure about Ig versus just a silver might be better, honestly. He takes a gold instead of the border village, which is probably fine. But this is going to be a dud hand almost surely now for singletee. Well, I say almost surely. I don't know how many rappels actually Swordfish Trombone in fact has left. So their decks have kind of fallen apart to some extent actually, and he probably should remake Curse and Copper here. I guess maybe Curse and Silver and he can alms for the 4 he wants. It's easy to forget that alms is the oh. No, this makes some sense as well. Because he can retake the duchy here if he wants, or he can just get like a pair of Igs. I'm pretty skeptical of going double duchy here. His deck is not going to be able to province, which he needs to be able to do twice. Of course, I just think his deck is kind of bad anyway now. Too much green stuff. Yeah, I really feel like they could have taken more draw components as they were greening instead of turning draw components into green cards all at once. I think they could have done it in a more measured fashion. We just got to play the border village here. Okay. You just got to play the masquerade here, I think. And I assume you pass a copper. He has another gold, which he's... Well, I don't remember what the other card is, so maybe he's only 50% to find it. Okay, well this works out really well. You play Apothecary next. wow, okay. He trashed that copper, seems interesting, I guess is the word I will use. But singletee does seem to be in a pretty commanding position here, although he is going to have to pass. I assume Border Village is a better thing to pass than Lost City. Uh, it just has to be, right? There's no way in which Border Village is better. The cost, the nothing. Yeah, Border Village is a worse card than Lost City, so. Although he can probably just win the game this turn. He just needs to draw enough stuff, I guess. So maybe it's a little bit risky, but you just pass the Border Village, and Swordfish Trombone's going to pass you a copper. Swordfish Trombone has 8 and really has basically no choice except a province, and hope that singletee cannot. He could have passed Remake there. Remake is not a great card at this point, I don't think. Having said that, if Swordfish Trombone does province here, then it's very easy for singletee to win, because he can transmogrify province into province and then just buy any green card. So he has the win in hand if he does that, but I don't see what else Swordfish Trombone does. If he gets a duchy here, he's not really in better shape. Singletee should probably still go for that same line of play, and well, I guess he could lose, but it seems pretty unlikely. He could also transmogrify otherwise, or not transmogrify at all, of course. But I think not transmogrify at all is probably the second best option there. Yeah, so this is kind of bad. Maybe not transmogrifying at all is better, and just say I'm going to be able to buy a duchy at least. If I get a province, I'm winning anyway. If he got a province, he was winning anyway. So leaving the transmogrify on the mat was probably the best thing to do. This is rough now. We'll see how much Swordfish Trombone draws before he plays the Masquerade. Does he have another Rabble? Okay. Well, you got to play Treasury next. Yeah, he has another Rabble. So this you have to Masquerade now. Okay. So he should pass copper, excuse me. I think. Maybe he passes Remake to guarantee the tie. That might be the best thing in his mind. If he passes copper, let's see what's in his. Yeah, he passes Remake to guarantee the tie. Yes, and singletee basically can't pass Remake here. Now you have to take the province. And so I think that leaving the transmogrify on the mat instead of calling it there was better, because if he gets to province anyway, he's just winning anyway, right? He would have had 30 points, and I don't think Swordfish Trombone can score more than that, and then he can transmogrify at will. So I think leaving it on the mat was the best line of play, but it's hard to see at that point. Yeah, it's just hard to see at that point. Renaissance. Not sure why they're explicitly listing out the expansions if they are using Rena. Oh, it's because, yeah, Swordfish Trombone likes to play with extra landscapes, 2 to 4 instead of 0 to 2. Okay. Here really isn't much thinning. There's only Catapult, which seems pretty strong. You have Throne Room and Crown and Torturer, so nil Catapult seems like a good opening. I guess in some weird world you could think about catapults or getting an engineer. Um, I think you need to attack so that your opponent can't get to 5. But swordfish trombone is more concerned about hitting 4, which seems a bit questionable to me. Mill also doesn't seem the absolute greatest with, well, especially it doesn't really go with trashing your estates to your catapult, but it doesn't seem good against catapult either. Um, I think this should be engineering stuff and then getting a gold off the quest. And by stuff, I think I mean heralds. Probably more than one. He only gets the one. That's also reasonable. Now, he could be thinking about taking another. Okay, he gets the gold rather than the second engineer, and I think that makes sense. Although, if they're really focusing on heralds this much, then I don't know. It's probably another herald. At some point, you start thinking about throne room, but okay, well, this is an obvious play, and discarding the coppers seems obvious as well. I guess there's some way that you can hit wrong with these heralds where it wouldn't be good, but yeah, these heralds aren't doing much yet. 4 for probably another herald? Yeah, probably just racing those down. Um, hmm. Well, this is probably going to be another engineer play to get as many of the last heralds as he can. Wow, that doesn't seem right to me at all. Don't you want to keep your engineer so that you can get multiple heralds? He really wants to attack, I guess. Gets another engineer. Um, it's another herald. I assume you lead with herald here. Herald again. His heralds haven't been hitting at all for him, which is unfortunate to say the least. Trash the copper here. And obviously you might as well discard and gain the last herald. Again, I think I'd be trashing this for a throne room now. Yep, he does. And get a new engineer. Yeah, as Freaky says in the chat, seemed good to me, but he doesn't want it. So that was the first estate trash for singletee. I'm not sure I would have gone for it. I also not particularly in love with the storeroom. So I guess that explains why I wouldn't have gone for the estate trash. Throne room, get another throne room and see why the throne rooms. Although, maybe you just get torturer here. Yeah. You're not really hurting for buys yet. You can see way later. And Let's see what singletee does with his first 5. Reasonably confident that that he is appropriate for both of these players, which I guess just means I'll be all the more embarrassed if I'm wrong. But okay, wow, these heralds have really not been very cooperative. Um, at some moment, when one of these hands where they're looking at 3 or whatever, I wouldn't have minded. Wow, he puts it on mill rather than throne room. That's unexpected. This is a tough decision. He takes the curse. I really think they need more catapults. Oh, it was a throned torturer. Oh, well, that makes sense then. This is 8 and 2 buys because he has a storeroom. He seaways a throne room, and I hope that this is another catapult. It's a quest for a gold. I think that more catapults would be good in both of these decks. Swordfishtrombone finally connects, and he connects multiple times. He has 2 more mills down there, so I like just trashing the copper. It also stacks well with this torturer attack. Throne torturer, I assume. Yup. So this is now a really good turn for. You can also, I guess, use the mills to set up future heralds, so that's a thing. Since he discarded the estates here, I think he just has to basically discard his action cards here. Or I guess he could discard nothing. It won't matter. Well, I think playing this herald seems foolish. Yeah, okay. So now he could go throne, mill. He could go throne, mill. He could get torturer. Another torturer seems fine. Yeah, torturer catapult, and then probably a throne room, but maybe a mill. I think that seems good. I definitely want another catapult here, though, and he gets one. Sure. Not sure about mill versus throne room there. This is a just dreadful hand. This is singletee's only torturer. You're only going to get attacked once here, so you definitely discard. And then I think I would have kept copper curse because I'm not buying anything for 2. And that way I have the option of trashing the curse if I want to. But I guess maybe this gives him the option of buying a 2 cost. Although, what 2 costs are you buying? I guess he could get an engineer. That would be the reason to play this way. If you still want to attack, and then maybe you can play the engineer. He trashes curse, which makes sense given this situation, and then torturer, and this is not trivial though what to get here. Rogue has some stuff going for it, although I don't like it. Catapult, again, I think a second catapult would be kind of good. Another torturer has some merit, and then also crown or throne room both had some amount of merit too. Normally crown is just better than throne room because sometimes you crown your coppers or your gold, I guess in this case. But because singletee has the plus buy token on throne room, that might be better. So engineer here makes sense given what he discarded. The torturers are going to fly very fast and thick, and I kind of think that you just have to take some curses. Yeah, I don't like the discard there. But on the other hand, if you do take the curses, it may well be, if you're going to take the curse on the second one, you got to take the curse on the first one, right? This can be problematic, though. Obviously, this turn is really good for singletee, and just whoever gets this kind of brutal turn first is usually the winner in a lot of these cases. Now, Oh, ooh, I'm not a fan of playing storeroom just there. You want to play your engineer, right? You want to play your engineer to get more throne rooms? Question mark? Um, he's not going to play his engineer at all? Huh. Pay this debt, and then you need to worry about the game ending. So probably he should buy a province here. If he doesn't buy a province, then there's a pretty significant chance that there can be a pile out here from Swordfish Trombone on Mills, Curses, and Heralds. So, okay, the province looks good. Um, wait, I'm wondering now if there was a chance that he could have had that pile out. Um, I guess it's unlikely. Okay, so now how many throne rooms does Swordfish Trombone have? Because I think he wants to throne. I guess he only has the two, right? Ooh, giving that curse, accepting that curse is kind of risky. Wait, is this a win? You could have trashed gold. He probably doesn't have enough money. But that doesn't seem right. This catapulting this copper just now. I think you... Oh, I guess it makes sense in that you get to attack faster, I guess. You should play Torturer. Obviously, Mill is next. I'm not sure what he needed to throne here, but my gut was that it wasn't the catapults. I'm almost sure it wasn't the catapult, especially if you're not going to trash the gold with the catapult. Because he could have. Whoa. This is still. Ooh, he doesn't find his engineer. But this is why I think I like throning the torturer better. You either force him to take the curse, which should let you win, and you're going to find your engineer, or if they don't take the curse, then you have a free turn to do whatever. He trashes the. If he trashes the curse here, then he has 12 money. He can go mill, mill, mill. No, he doesn't have enough money to go mill, mill, mill. Ugh. So he just has to go province and probably even estate here. Not finding that engineer was a huge deal. Estate seems necessary, though. Yeah, yeah. Fortunately for him, singletee doesn't have a very good hand, potentially. This herald needs to hit, and it does not. Now, even playing this torturer is really, really risky. Swordfish Trombone definitely accepts the curse here, and he just needs to be able to find some way of gaining one more mill, um, which seems really likely. Because his engineer can take two. So, yeah. Swordfish Trombone should win here this turn, almost certainly. I mean, I guess it's not quite that certain, but Not sure about playing the mill first, but yep, that's it. Um, as long as he discards here, or he can even throne the engineer. Um, many ways to do it. Looks like he's probably going to go with the throne the engineer plan. Takes the mills, kills that. You can take a duchy for good measure, but he didn't need it. I think there may have been other missed wins. I'm not sure. Okay, city gate. Arch is the one where you want to have a lot of two different actions. Hey, tunnel can be activated by a lot of stuff here, but I don't think it's very good. Goons is obviously the centralizing card here. You want a lot of them. You want to be able to play a lot of them. There is no thinning except for miser, so you probably take a miser. It's kind of tough though. You may go for double tactician. You're almost certainly going to want at least a guide, maybe 2 or 3 guides, because your deck is not going to be that consistent. There's a couple of different villages, so that split shouldn't be important. But there isn't much draw. Well, there's Tactician plus Journeyman, so that actually is a lot of draw. There's everything you need here, but it is going to be a bit slow to set up. Having said that, I don't know that that's all that big of a problem. Now, City Gate is actually something really interesting to open. I think you should probably go Silver City Gate here. Maybe Miser City Gate. Actually, probably Miser City Gate. Possibly Guide instead of... I don't know, I think you want to start thinning down reasonably fast, but you may need a silver. Yeah, that makes some sense. Singletee does go for the City Gate on turn 3. Swordfishtrombone, wow, spike 6 and is already able to get to goons, so that's rather fortunate, especially with only one. Thing going on. Yeah, this is a great draw for Swordfishtrombone. Here he should... I don't know whether he should take Journeyman or Minstrel. I'm not at all a fan of taking Plaza here as opposed to taking Wandering Minstrel. I just think Wandering Minstrel's so much better. I mean, I guess it's helping him to spike 6, but hitting that 6 was so huge for Swordfishtrombone. I think it's probably winning him this game. Oh, Singletee also has a goons. How did I miss that? So this could either be Guide or Wandering Minstrel. I like the Guide. And probably even go ahead and already call it here. I probably want at least 2 guides in my deck. He is going to want to start getting Minstrels and Journeymen, though, as well. See, I think, oh, Guide even has some nice synergy with the City Gate. So I think I would have put Silver back there and then Guide. Oh, wait, what am I talking about? He doesn't have the Guide on the mat yet. That's idiotic, Wandering Winder. Well, this is not a collision that you want to have, but it, you play your goons and buy a minstrel here. Right, he's the one that got the, yeah, he's the one that got the journeyman last turn, so we need some more villages. Yep, okay, good. Great guide there. You got to play journeyman next, right? And you name, he names a state. Okay. I think I might have named copper, but I don't know. Goons, and then probably still set aside with this miser. Although it's not that evident at the moment. Wow, that was his first set aside? Huh, they haven't been doing that much. Journeyman, I don't know. I guess he needs to get another minstrel here. Well, okay, he has the city gate, so I'd want another guide, but I'd also want to start getting some of this stuff. I don't think that Annex or Triumphal Arch are going to be very important here. He got another guide. Interesting. I think I would have taken another minstrel because he's a little over terminaled, I think. He, who I'm referring to there, is being singletee. You just got to draw the goons, right? And does swordfishtrombone not have any journeymen yet? So he should, if that's correct, then he should get one here. Okay, I think that's I think that's accurate. What he puts back here is unimportant. Copper. And then this journeyman should name estate, I think. And okay, you play goons, and I think he should take double minstrel now. He doesn't really need much more draw. Two journeymen is enough. He has two guides. I think that's plenty. So I like double minstrel, and that's what he goes for. So this is great. This is really good for singletee now. He only has one copper aside, but now he has enough stuff that he can start setting more of them aside. Stick the guide back. Yeah, that's this nice interaction. Minstrel now. You can probably plaza. Okay. And he shouldn't play this plaza though. Ooh, I don't like that. This is a pretty bad shuffle to trigger. I guess he has the other guide down. It's not that bad. Miser should set aside again. And now I think I'd go minstrel and guide. I don't like getting another journeyman. This is a plaza. Yeah, plaza makes sense. Given given that he's drawing close to well enough now that the econ from it seems a little better than the sifting of minstrel. Okay, and now swordfishtrombone should set aside, I think, again. He's starting to build up quite a bit of money, So he could, for instance, take the money here and get 2 4s. Um, or he could set aside and get 1 4 and be thinner. I lean towards setting aside and buying a plaza. He gets 1 more minstrel. That's reasonable. Singletee puts the silver back, I'm guessing, and then calls his guide. Yep. So he should be drawing his deck here. Now this journeyman should name a state. Yep. Goons, this miser can set aside. And he looks to be in pretty good position here. So he has 8 money. At this point, I think I would be getting another goons and probably another village. He doesn't need more draw. Yeah, he goes for goons, and now the plazas are starting to lose a little bit value there. So ugh. It seems to me that singletee is probably ahead here, although the extra thinning from this miser is not nothing. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He probably needs to take the money now and go goons and another village. He continues to take minstrels, which is fine, although I would really like to start getting a plaza soonish. He probably isn't. Oh, he only has the 1 guide, so he's definitely not calling that this turn. I might have actually even gotten the 2nd guide over the village there, but he'll probably get it this turn instead, which makes, I guess, sense. Ooh, I don't like that play though. You don't, I don't, I think he has enough draw that he doesn't need to keep this goons. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Swordfish trombone, I mean there. Um, the miser took the money. Not sure about that. Um, this could be 5 4 4. So like journeyman, plaza, minstrel, journeyman, plaza miser. Um, he's gonna go with goons, minstrel, minstrel. Okay, it seems. I don't know about that. It's probably fine, but he is a little bit low on the drawing now. The drawing end of things. Mm-hmm. Well, this is okay. This is okay for Swordfish Trombone. But he needs to get another journeyman pretty soon. I think he has enough villages that he can go like journeyman, guide, but he might go journeyman, guide, acting troop. He doesn't have enough villages for this, I don't think. So he should play the guide next. And not sure about this. Discard a copper, why not? Okay, well that's setting him up with an okay turn for next turn. He has a lot of buys here. Now you have to start thinking about what your endgame plan is. I still think that singletee is pretty far ahead, although, again, I'm not sure about taking the money all of these times. At least consider setting another copper aside, but I guess you really need to think about what you're doing. He probably should go something like Journey. Wow, he gets another goons. He does get the journeyman, and now acting troop? Acting troop, yeah. Don't get a copper. Okay, so swordfish trombone. He's probably calling a guide here. He's not calling his guide here. Okay. Well, now I think he should name miser. He names a state and got stuck with this. Well, he has to buy. That was a silver. I still think he has to buy plaza. I guess he could buy a tactician. It's kind of late for that, but wow, does he not have enough terminal space for as many terminals as he has? This is problematic for... Oh, he wasn't even trying to draw more. Alright. That seems a little bit strange to me. Journeyman Plaza. Journeyman acting. What is this? I don't know. But, whatever. Singletee is pretty far ahead. And the pile outs are going to happen soon. Yeah, so this is the problem. He's way over terminaled. He's way over terminaled. This is his whole deck. So he really needs to slam some villages here. I don't know. Plaza, troop. Not a big fan of the troops, but he got another guide. Hmm. So singletee should just have the massivest of advantages here. Goons, 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 goons. You don't play this last journeyman here. And you take the cash. 5 buys. This isn't enough money to end it. But he can go 1 goons here. $17, 6, 6, 5. He could go goons, goons, journeyman. That's. Oh, is this a concession? I don't understand. What's a premature GG? The copper I don't like, but it's whatever. Oh, he's going to play on. I'm not a big fan of saying GG and then playing on. But whatever. Maybe he thought that there was a win there already. I don't know. Play journeyman now. You got to keep track of what you're discarding as well. It's a little bit tricky. Okay, so he has 3 goons here. It's not enough. It's not enough. Commit honorable Sudoku. There you go. Curse? I don't know what you're... Okay, I am not as bothered as this person is. Like I said, I'm not a fan of it, but maybe it's a mistake. Maybe they thought there was a forced win. There's a lot of reasons why you might do that and not really mean anything offensive by it. I mean, I think you should try to be a bit careful to avoid that, but it is what it is. Okay, again, we have this thing happening. Summon, barracks, university, rats, bishop, expedition, treasurer. Treasurer, bishop. You treasurer, gain a gold back, bishop it again. There's a lot of points here. The question is, at what point do you get the potion? Also not entirely convinced by vassal. What if you turn 1 expedition? There's not really a 5 you want. Maybe you open rats? It can be kind of dangerous with vassal. I guess you don't have to play the... I'm not sure how you get to where you want to go. There's the rats. They both went for the potion, which is fine, I guess. Not really sold on the vassal, but maybe it's fine. Probably doesn't make a huge difference. Probably makes a bigger difference when it's good than when it's bad. I don't know. I think you'd like for most of your, as much of your draw as possible to come from hirelings rather than from council rooms. So that way it's you drawing and not them. But obviously it's gotta go kind of both ways. Expeditions being used is something I do like. Uh, Here, I think I'd get one more university before I would switch to expeditioning, but it's not that much off. Whoever got this bishop, it seems a bit early to me. Ironmonger can kind of help you set up your vassals. Kind of. This should be a trashed estate. University should gain probably a council room. Guess you probably get one, but I would be starting to switch to royal carriages relatively quickly. Wow, this is pretty nice. I'm a big fan of taking the key where money is useful, but that's just me. Trashing the copper is actually probably good there. You do want to start thinning down. I would take a hireling here. I want to get my draw up without having to play a lot of council rooms. Council room, you're going to need some of for the buys, but not that many. Barracks, on the other hand, is also a reasonable thing, I guess. I'm not sure where his terminal density versus villages are, but I think he has quite a lot of villages. I'm not a big fan of the council room. I guess you want to buy 3 things at some point, but you can, university up more council rooms and carriages till the cows come home, so. Takes the key, which I think makes sense because you want 6, because you want to buy a hireling. Hireling. Barracks, sure, barracks makes sense. I do like taking the key. Although there, I don't think I would have gotten another university. I think I would have just bought an expedition. For here, I would think about expedition very strongly. Gets an ironmonger, which is probably okay. You lead with rats here, and then trash the copper, then play scheme. Now vassal. Maybe it's better to do it like this, I guess. You don't play this rats, obviously, and then you buy. He can't call the royal carriage for vassal, can he? Anyway, even if he could, I don't think I would. I wouldn't also wouldn't get the scheme. I would have bought an expedition there. You want to buy expeditions to get your drops so you can get your universities played to get more of your permanent draw up. And also just like scheme is too low impact and anyway. This is a lot of council rooms being gained, and I'm really not a fan of that. Now this should be trashing a copper. And again, I want to buy a hireling. I think hireling is significantly the best source of draw on this board. And I'm a much bigger fan of it than getting this many council rooms. I guess they have so many council rooms now that maybe the hireling isn't as good, but also singletee doesn't have barracks yet, which I think seems like a thing that you want to get. But, well, the way that he played this, again, I'm not a big fan of buying the scheme there. I would want more expedition buys. Summoning Ironmonger is fine. And I guess given that he ended up with 8, it's probably better than getting the barracks, which I think he really kind of wants. You really want to also start getting a lot of royal carriages, which I think is a little bit better than just getting more bishops. Um, Swordfish Trombone seems significantly ahead to me, though. Wow. I'm not sure that I would be. Again, this seems like too many council rooms to me. So these should, I think, both be getting. Well, these should definitely be getting carriages, I'm pretty sure. He gets to do a lot here. Um, so he takes a carriage, and then he calls to take another carriage. He has too many council rooms. I don't think he can win here. I guess maybe with the rats auto pile he could do it. He can gain a council room, he can rats auto pile, and I don't think he has enough money to. Oh, no, wait, he might have enough money. No, 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 you don't gain the bishop there. You gain, say, royal carriage. I think royal carriage, and then he draws that, and then he puts the royal carriage down, and then he has enough from his treasurers. If he gains. No, that doesn't work, does it? Nah, it probably doesn't. How much money could he have gotten from treasurers? He has 5. He could have gotten 6, 7. Well, he had 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. He's a bit off. I think he was like 1 short, maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe there was a way he could have played it differently. Um, he needed to gain more royal carriages sooner so that he could royal carriage more universities and then do the rats pile out. He should definitely either summon or expedition here. Wow, I hate that vassal. Um, that should really have been expedition. I guess now we just have to see whether singletee can do. Well, singletee almost certainly can't do a pile out win here because the third pile, like, you probably need to do rats. But if you're doing rats, then. Oh, he doesn't even have any bishops yet? Yeah. Yeah, this is just over. Well, let's see. If a university's for a carriage and the university's for a carriage, then he can draw those, and then he can put the carriages down and university for more carriages. He can definitely empty those 2 piles, and he can then definitely not win on the back of it afterwards, so I think he's pretty dead. Yeah, he needs to start getting these bishops. Um, but it's not going to be enough. It's not really going to be close to being enough. He prop. Hmm. Yeah, as him, you hate to play this even 3 council rooms because your really only chance is swordfish trombone duds. But, well, I guess maybe actually in real terms, his better chance is probably not about the dud. It's probably about, well, playing the Ironmonger then seems wrong because he wants to redraw this potion, right? Oh, it comes back into hand. Never mind. What am I saying? Um, and now he trashes a copper. No, he takes the. Don't know about that. He needs to double province here. So I think I would have trashed the copper rather than taking the potion again. Um, he really has to double though. Otherwise, Swordfish Trombone will have this rat's pile for the pile out. So, or even the bishop pile, honestly. He's very much lost, but he should go. Well, I guess he has to play for a dud, right? And so if he's playing for a dud, what's the thing that lets him win on a dud? And that's like Carriage University or something. Summoning Ironmongers is also like a way to do something similar. So summon Ironmonger. Okay. Oh well, this. Yeah. Okay. This no. This makes sense. Um, because your only hope is the dud, so that makes sense. Real carriage. So you discard that obviously, and now you just council room and yeah. Okay. So carriage again, and now university. Um, University and then replay the university many times to get carriages, all the rest of the carriages in the council room. Yeah, gain the council room and then draw everything. And then you can rats pile out, you can do anything. Okay, I mean he can honestly just do it with the universities now. Council room and then one of these piles and doesn't even have to. He's going to trash rats here. Again, okay, here we go. University, gain council room, carriage. Which other pile does he go? For bishops. Great. End turn. Win game. Oh, well, he could probably take another pile too. In fact, I think he could have gotten 5 piles at least. But yeah, whatever. Do 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 do. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. You do 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 do. I do 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 do. I you do 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 do. I you do 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 do. I you do 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 do. Do 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 do. I you do 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 do. I you do 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 do. I you do 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 do. I you do 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 do. Okay. So the important thing to note here is that you can open Guardian to ensure yourself a 5 on turn 2. To get yourself, I think Sentry is probably better on at the very beginning of the game than Junk Dealer. Swordfish Trombone just has a 5-2, so he could just buy a Sentry turn 1. Transmogrify again should be good with Border Village, but not sure about the improve there. I think I like Sentry on turn 1 better than Junk Dealer. And then I would switch over. After turn 2, I think I switch over to preferring the Junk Dealer. Eventually it switches back once you've trashed everything, but okay, that's not so important anyway. Well, this is okay for singletee, I guess. I assume that what he wants to improve into is transmogrify, but to me it begs the question, if you're gonna do that, why don't you just open transmogrify improve? I guess this gives you a better chance of hitting 5 to some extent. I don't know. But I assume he takes either a Sentry or a Junk Dealer here and then ups into transmogrify. I think upping into transmogrify is better at the moment than getting the monument. I guess improve can turn your 5s into border villages too, much like transmogrify will be able to do later, but Swordfish Trombone did get the Guardian on turn 2, which I'm not so sure about. If it were a Lighthouse, it'd be a different story. It does help his money on turn 3, and it is guaranteed to miss effectively that shuffle, so it's not like something you have to draw on turns 3 or 4. He got very lucky, of course, to hit 6. It's just amazing. But, wow, he got a monument? What? That doesn't seem... Don't know about that. I think I would have taken a den. 5, you should get another Trasher, I think. He has a Transmogrify and he has a Sentry, but I would want to get a Junk Dealer, I believe. Maybe a Den of Sin would be the alternative there, but it's not what he goes for. I think you are going to want a Junk Dealer at some point to help clean up the last few things, though. So I like going 1 Sentry into Junk Dealer. Monument makes sense there, I think, but so this is going to trash his state. He's going to get a 4, and this could be silos. Yeah. So this gets to trash a copper, and he's going to probably get another improve. Changeling is also going to be something that's going to be really good with the border village thing, so that's something to keep an eye on. How does this work? In games using this, when you gain a card costing, so I think you can get like a changeling and a 5 by getting a border village. Or a changeling in the border village, or I think there's a lot of things. You don't need a ton of terminals for a while, So, um, you can try to focus on getting your draw and stuff up with your draw and your trashing, a junk dealer, and a lot of dens. So I think that's the way that I would largely be trying to play this. Um, yeah, hitting 4 here is pretty unfortunate. Maybe he improves the sentry into a border village, which would make a lot of sense. Um, yeah, and take a junk dealer now. He has he has both of these sentries, right? So I like turning one into a border village. Well, first of all, the border village is basically free, but the junk dealer, um, not sure about minion. The junk dealer is going to be better at thinning. Um, he still needs to trash more, doesn't he? I don't know. Okay. Well, this is pretty good for swordfish trombone. Well, he should buy a border village. And then it's just a question of what he improves. Again, I think he needs another trasher as well. I also don't like the minion. I mean, it's kind of draw, but I think I'd just prefer to be going with dens. Certainly, I don't like the line of junk dealer into border village minion because he wouldn't have any trashers left. Um, so this is a discard. Border village, transmogrify, improve, and then discard again. Whoa, he's not improving, which means he's not discarding. Okay. Again, I don't know about that. Maybe it's fine though. It's probably not much of a difference. And then again, I think you want to improve a 5 into border village and start doing some of this changeling stuff too, though. Changeling, another reason why I prefer the den drawing to the minion drawing. He trashes the improve for a monument. Also not so keen on that. This looks really good for swordfish trombone this turn. Yeah, this is fantastic. Trash the copper, play the improve, and then draw with your minion. Go ahead and trigger the shuffle. Yeah, okay, he does. Good. And then obviously you buy a border village, and then the question is what you gain and what you improve. So again, I still don't like the minion plan as much as the thin down and then do dens thing. Um, I want to start gaining changelings. You can at least get a border village in a changeling. Um, I would probably get rid of one of these junk dealers for another border village. But again, I want changelings and I want dens. And that just seems better to me than going for the minion stuff. And then I want to just, again, the way that I see the end of this playing out is I'm just going to score a million points off monuments. So border village into border village makes sense. He didn't play that monument. Oh, he played the improve instead. Okay. Trash this copper. And you probably discard here again. I think. I think that lets him draw it all. Maybe I've remembered incorrectly. I've probably remembered incorrectly. Not a big fan of province either. His deck does not seem that fantastic. Although maybe it's okay. Maybe the timing is okay. Turns transmogrify into minion, sure. This is quite a bad hand for swordfish trombone, but with silos he can sift past these, so it's a lot less bad. Well, I think you play both these terminals and then discard. but I must admit I wasn't 100% in remembrance of what the last cards were. Again, I would discard again here, because you want to play this junk dealer. And again, I think I go Border Village, but he's not going to. Um, None of them has gone for any changeling stuff, which is a little bit sad to me. I'm not sure if it's quite time. Yeah, so that goes into Border Village. I still want a junk dealer in my deck if I'm him, I think. Although with silos, it's a little bit less important, I guess. Oh, he does the changeling thing now. Awesome. He still gets to gain the 5, right? Yeah, cool. But I think Swordfish Trombone has quite the substantial advantage because of all of this extra monument stuff. The changeling is also pretty nice, but this improve gets improved into a monument, or does the sentry get improved into a border village and something? Possibly changeling would replace the border village and you get a minion or a den or a monument. Um, I guess singletee has a transmogrify advantage, so that is a pretty substantial advantage for him and will come into a lot of play as the endgame plays on because you can obviously mill provinces with transmogrify. I think you need to keep this one as a border village, though I don't think you can changeling there because you need it in hand so that you can play this improve. Although you probably should have silosed before you did that. Well, it's not going to matter too much. Monument and discard. And now I might just take the money and buy this province. Ooh. Yeah, this is kind of the risk you run. So now, this isn't so bad. Although you do have to be slightly worried about piles. This changeling is also going to turn into a border village. And I think improve should be improved to monument at this point. I'm not sure that you can take quite so many monuments though, so because there is some pile out potential. How many improves are left? I think, wow, just duchy. Okay, that makes some amount of sense. There are how many improves in the trash now? 3. Huh. Wonder if swordfish trombone singletee has both, or if swordfish trombone has one. This is 2 monuments. 2 monuments in the trash. He has 2, and there's 1, I think. I'm not sure if this is safe. No, it must be safe. Yeah, this must be safe. Going down to 3 maybe wouldn't be, but going down to 4 definitely should be. I think you have to play monument here rather than improve, but this is a problem with these minion decks. They don't handle green very well. I think you just play minion here for the money. Don't play the border village and buy yourself a province. That is what he does. So obviously you just start playing border villages here if you're swordfish trombone. You're going to play this monument. How many transmogrifies does singletee have down? Just 1. There's 1 in the trash, and I think swordfish trombone has 1. So going down to 3 provinces is safe because it can't end there. You discard, I think. Yeah, you want to get that transmogrify down, if nothing else. Now you don't discard. Wow, swordfish trombone's deck looks a lot better than singletee's. So it's just a question of he's behind in points. But this province is safe. It's the next one that might not be. Singletee kinda needs to take this. He could maybe discard. But this is dangerous. If Swordfish Trombone would have had a province in hand, he probably would be winning here. As it is, he could try to. No, I don't think pile outs are possible. That's the other thing, though, I guess. The transmogrify might have enabled the monument pile out at some moment. I wasn't thinking about that so much. Um, hmm. Well, there's really not much choice. You have to play this border village. Oh, there is some choice. He could transmogrify monument into duchy or something. Hmm. If he takes a duchy, how many monuments does he have left? I think he has 3 right now, so we'd have 2 left. And Singletee only has 1. But he does have the transmogrify, so I don't really know that this is a great line, but it's probably okay. Well, obviously you need to buy duchy now. And Singletee is not going to go for it. Um, Given that, then this looks really good for Swordfish Trombone. Um, I, Taking province here is incredibly risky. I guess it's not as risky. Swordfish Trombone doesn't have the transmogrify down anymore. It would have been. Yeah, that's another reason to not call the transmogrify the last turn. Um, and given that that's the case, and given the state of their decks, I really think Singletee just has to take the province here and hope. I don't think it's a winning play to try to take duchy and dance. He's much less well suited for dancing than Swordfish Trombone is, from the impression that I have anyway. Maybe that's not true, but I think it is. Um, and he does go for it. And wow, this is a great hand for Singletee if he's going to be allowed to keep it, which he will. And this is going to be game over. Probably buy a state here, or Guardian, I guess. But it's not going to matter. You just play all these things for money. You play your monument, you buy a province, you win the game. Singletee got it done there, but it was a bit topsy-turvy. Popsy-turvy. Ooh, Duke and Silk Road, both of which are very irrelevant. That's cool. Mountain Pass in a colony game is kind of weird. Kind of interesting, kind of weird. Academy can be really bonkers sometimes, although this may not be that time. Rats with Forge can do stuff. Smugglers seems potentially quite reasonable here because you're going to be building for a long time. There is no extra, there's no plus buy. There are gains with Forge and Smugglers. Uh, the draw can come from labs or patrol. I think you need to open militia here And then the question is whether you want to open it with smugglers or silver. Um, and that might be different between players 1 and 2. Smugglers is a little bit better for second player. Okay. So we'll see if he follows suit into lab here. You could think about academy. It is not nearly as broken here as I've seen it be in many other cases, but it may still be good. It's probably a bit early for that. He could think about gold if he's trying to spike forge, but no, he just takes a lab, which I think is kind of the normal play. Now, hitting 5 twice here on turns 3 and 4 is really huge for Swordfish Trombone, especially given that he was attacked. Like, that's pretty massive. Now I think I'd take a militia. Not a militia, a plaza, as he did. Militia doesn't make sense, as he already has one, and he's going to get to the point where he's drawing his deck. I do wonder a little bit about taking rats at some moment for your forge, but I don't know. Swordfish Trombone continues to have excellent luck here, and even gets to blank the smugglers when he gets his forge. I assume he should get a forge here, and he does. Yeah, this is rough for singletee. I think in general you shouldn't show that, but I do well understand oh, look at, I want you to see how much bad luck I've gotten. I do understand that, even if it's strategically slightly wrong to show that that the smugglers were in that hand, which means there's going to be less of a chance that they're in the coming one. Now you could really consider Academy here. Potentially also Plaza, but I think I would have gotten Academy there. As given that he has these multiple terminals now, and that he's going to want to be forging into actions. Then again, on the other hand, maybe you want to get an Academy on a turn where your opponent's going to have their smugglers more likely. So I'm not exactly sure. This is not the greatest forge hand, but you're still reasonably happy to forge this stuff away. And again, I'm not sure. At this point, he could take the smugglers. Yeah. He is a bit over terminaled now. I guess he has 3 and just 1 village to support, but that's probably okay. He can get another village here, and then he starts looking really nice. I think I would smuggle or forge all of this stuff into a plaza. Yeah, he's just had very, very good draws here. Things coming together at the really kind of the best times. He will start to have to think about getting some more economy relatively soon, but that's not a huge concern. Okay, you should plaza now. Nah, this is the wrong order, because he could have had this copper drawn. This is really the wrong order. I guess his forge isn't really doing anything this turn. Oh, okay. Well, the resignation saves us from having to worry. I should note, I have no idea what game number this is. I don't, yeah. I just don't keep track of these things very well in these matches. Oh, and that's it. Okay, so Swordfish Trombones has won 3.5 to 2.5. So cool. Um, well, everyone, thanks for watching. Please leave any feedback that you might have, whether you would like me to try to be more animated, less animated, talk more about certain things or less about other things. Whatever. If there's something you'd like me to do more of or less of or instead of what I'm doing or some other way, You have an idea that I might want to try out, if you want me to look at your games, if you want me to do more of something or less of something else, any of that kind of stuff, always happy to listen to suggestions. Can't promise I'm going to take them all, but I have gotten some good suggestions before, and I always like hearing suggestions. So, yeah, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and I do hope I'll see you again soon.